What's poppin', everybody? This is Ray Rawlins, and I'm joined by Alex Payne. We on the Ray Rawlins Network, and it's Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern. So y'all know what time it is. We're talking about a classic episode of our favorite show, favorite childhood show, SpongeBob SquarePants, and this episode is The Lost Mattress. Now, Mr. Alex Payne, as always, give everybody a little breakdown of what happened this episode.
All right. Well, this episode starts off with Mr. Krabs complaining about his lumpy mattress. So SpongeBob, being the good employee he is, decides that he's going to get Mr. Krabs a new mattress. So him, Squidward, and Patrick surprise Mr. Krabs with a brand new mattress and reveals that they sent his other mattress off to the dump. And Mr. Krabs, is upset because all his money was in his mattress and he ends up in a cash coma. So it's up to SpongeBob and them to go get his mattress back. And that's pretty much the episode.
Yeah, I know you don't like to give away spoilers, but this has been out for so long. They ain't watch it. Oh well. They gotta basically go to the dump and get it from this big gigantic ass yardworm, whatever the hell they call it. But one thing I gotta say, and you made a big blunder on this, is SpongeBob and Patrick's idea to get the mattress. Squidward just basically stole it because he wanted all the credit. And Squidward basically got screwed over.
Idea, man. I said it was SpongeBob's idea.
You said Patrick and Squidward. You included them. You bundled them with.
I said they surprised him. They surprised him with the new mattress, which they did. They all was in his bedroom, and they surprised him.
Okay. But you know what? I brought that up just to say this. Squidward wanted to hog all the credit. He ended up getting bit in the butt. Literally later on, but figuratively at this moment as I'm describing it, because it was his fault why Mr. Krabs got put in that cash coma. And the dude basically said, yo, if you don't get his mattress back, you're going to jail, man, if you don't pull through. So Squidward, he just basically, like I said, got bit in the butt there. And not only that, though, when they're trying to rescue the whole mattress from the guard worm, Squidward put SpongeBob and Patrick in a whole bunch of dangerous situations, which he ended up paying for because he got attacked in the end by the worm in all those situations. So Squidward was trying to do bad things to SpongeBob and Patrick, came back to bite him in the ass like he deserved. Moral of this story that I took from this episode, this is my whole first impressions, little take of it. Don't do bad things to people, man. Because it's going to come and bite you in the butt. Literally, maybe, but figuratively most of the time. So, what are your first thoughts? Yeah, I was talking about it. Obviously, we've seen this episode multiple times. What are your first thoughts of it?
My first thoughts were, I think this is around the time when SpongeBob's intelligence started to go downhill. That was my first thought.
Yeah, because I didn't think back then, like, describing by seasons or whatnot, but this is season 4, and that's when SpongeBob, in most people's eyes, started to take a downturn. Like, and the funny thing is, I started watching around that time. I want to say I was like maybe 2006, 2007. So that's definitely when I started watching around then, and I love SpongeBob, man. That's my childhood. That's on everything. So all the episodes that people thought were trash, I probably was like, that's a good episode. That's a great episode. Because that's what I seen. I saw that coming out. I used to watch that shit every Saturday morning. And on the weekdays when it used to come out. But I will say this. This episode, unlike most, felt like a very serious episode. Like, when I'm comparing it back to when I was watching it when I was younger, it felt like a very, very serious episode. Because, Mr. Krabs is dying. We're like, oh, man, we don't want Mr. Krabs to die. So they had to go on this little mission to basically save him. It felt like an unordinary episode of SpongeBob, But it to me, I think it was all right. I
mean, I don't think it was... Listen, I don't think it was any more dark or urgent than the episode with the health inspector. So,
which is on our channel from last week Friday. Go check it out. Let's talk about some of the moments from that episode, though.
I was just gonna say that. See, this thing, I don't know if it's like I honestly feel like this never was really an episode that I thought too much of. I would watch it, but it
Yeah,
never
same
was
here.
really one so that really stuck out to me. So like um there's only one moment that I could say really made me laugh, and another one that made me laugh, but I can't even remember what it is. So I should tell you what the value of it. But the main thing that made me laugh, for reasons I don't know, is when the nurse pushes Mr. Krabs into the
Yeah.
candy bar machine. It's just bam. Oh, I don't know why that was funny to me. That was funny to me.
It's crazy.
Another moment though, I have to mention, which is I find very weird. Squidward does not have a back pocket, so where the hell did he jam that spoon?
It's like Bailey was saying, and shout out to the producer for putting the shots and captions together for us for this episode. He the man. But it's like he said, Squidward basically shoved it up his butt. Everybody always says he's got to stick up his butt, and right there he literally does. And then the spoon disappeared a little scene later. So, but I will tell you this: one of my favorite moments in this episode. I would say favorite moments, but one that made me kind of chuckle a little bit because it was when they were all in the mattress store, SpongeBob and Patrick, and SpongeBob asked like, "How many mattresses do you think there are in here?" And Patrick's like, 10. I don't know why. Like, it made me laugh because I was like, man, that sounds like a motherfucking weed smoking answer from Patrick. Like, just like some straight up dumb shit. Like Patrick be at home, you just kick it with it. Be like, Patrick, how many of these mattresses you think in the store? Motherfucking dude, wait a little bit. It's like, I don't know. 10. He just be sounding like, especially in this episode, he sounds like he's like half baked half of the time. You see what I'm
If I
saying?
remember correctly, because there's a fan theory that all of the SpongeBob characters are based on like drug habits or whatever. If I remember correctly, Patrick they call Patrick a pothead.
I believe it. Dude always got the munchies. And you know what the funny thing is? Like I said, I've been watching SpongeBob, and probably over 13 years. So, and this is the episode, and it's funny, I just noticed this today. That was a hot take I just did right there. I never said that before. Like, Patrick seemed like somebody, like a character who'd be like motherfucking someone you want to smoke a blunt with or something. Promoting smoking on a children's review. But that was one of the moments that made me laugh. Second moment, and there was a couple of them, but the second moment that I just really love because I never heard anything like this is that laugh at the end from Mr. Krabs. Like, I swear, I wouldn't even say it's a laugh. It was like after he gets the mattress back from the worm and whatnot, he's talking to the money and whatnot. SpongeBob and Patrick just
He was growling.
Mr. Krabs.
He was growling.
Was that a growl? Is it?
Yeah, he was growling at them for trying to come at his money. That's what he was doing.
It didn't sound like his laugh though. He was like, "Oh yeah," I'm like, "Yo, something wrong with this man, yo." But I guess you could. I thought I always mistook it for like a weird version of his laugh or whatever. I wouldn't say a growl, but you're kind of right though. You're kind of right. And another one, and this is real fucked up, man. When they pushed, when the nurse came out. Because the doctors told her, like, yo, you can't leave Mr. Krabs on the sidewalk. We're trying to run a business here. He's like, I'm on it. Came out and just sent that little hospital bed flying, which caused him to end up in the junkyard. Funny fact. I don't know how they do this in the Bahamas, but if you don't have like insurance or whatnot, and you go to the ER, emergency room, they can't reject you. At least that's what I know that for a fact. So. Especially if you got like chest pains or nothing, they can't turn you away. They can never, regardless of insurance. Interesting fun fact.
How it works there.
But let's get into the final ratings and everything. What do you say about this episode? What type of rating would you give it?
I'd give it a 6.5. It's nothing super special to me. It's just an average episode. It's I guess nothing special. That's the best way I could say. So 6.5, that's my rating.
I say, like I said, Man, this is one of the, and I guess this makes me a little biased here. That's why I'm not like super great with reviews. But I will say this. This has always been one of those episodes that always popped up like when I was younger. And just watching this, man, just gives me this little nostalgia feeling, which kind of brings up a little bias again. But anyway, like it was I wouldn't say dark episode, but it was more of an episode that I wouldn't even say requires you to think, but it was more of a serious episode, you know. It wasn't the whole goofy joking episode. It was more serious, like had a more mature tone to it. There were some goofy moments in there, of course, but I will say this was a very, like you said, average episode. I can't say I loved it. There's definitely other classic episodes that really stuck out to me that I enjoyed, but I can't say I hated it either. So with that, I'm gonna give it a 7, a nice even 7. I'm right there with you. You say 6.5, I say 7. So with all that being said, y'all, this is Ray Rawlins and Alex Payne from the Ray Rawlins Network giving y'all a review of a good classic SpongeBob episode called The Lost Mattress. Shout out to the producer, Mr. Bailey Smoke Rudolph, for putting the screen capture together for us, the whole nice slideshow that y'all see going on in the background. And we will see what we got planned coming up for y'all next week. Obviously, SpongeBob reviews, probably a first impressions. Of course, the Getting Color podcast, if y'all haven't checked that out yesterday. All that good stuff going down on the Ray Rawlins Network, where we talk about cartoons and we practically do it daily. With all that being said, I will see y'all when I see y'all. Peace.